It seems that Deion Sanders on the NFL Network has started some sort of an NFL rumor, basically saying that the 49ers players are rooting up together and they want to get Jim Harbaugh outed as the San Francisco 49ers football coach. If you go back to the offseason, there was the consistent running rumor for about a month that the San Francisco 49ers were trying to make some sort of a package deal where they were going to trade Jim Harbaugh to the Cleveland Browns, where he would move in and take over head coaching position, as well as move into the GM role, where he would have more of a hands-on in picking the players that he would be playing and putting onto the field. I don't think anybody has ever really succeeded as being the head coach and the GM of a football team. Being a head coach of a football team, honestly, is a 20-hour-a-day job. You're constantly running practices. You're constantly trying to come up with plays. You're counseling players and getting things in and out. If you're trying to do that, and you're also trying to be on the phone, trying to make trades, trying to watch tape to see who you're going to draft in the upcoming draft and doing things like that, there's no way in the world you're going to be able to get everything done inside of a day. There's been plenty of coaches that have left one team in a winning situation and gone on to another to try and take on both jobs and just really just flat out failed. I don't think there's any way in the world that there's enough time in the day for anybody to really do this. The San Francisco 49ers are a very special, very, very good team. They are, they were a rock in a hard place the other day. They came in to play the Philadelphia Eagles, a very fast team that was going to match up against them very, very well. And they were 1-2. They had started the season out on a little bit of a slump. They won the Cowboys game. They lost the Bears game. And they lost to the Arizona Cardinals in a divisional game. But if you go back to last year, they opened up the season with a win against Green Bay, and then they had the back-to-back losses against Seattle and Indianapolis. From there, they went on to win 5 in a row before their bye week. They came back off their bye. They happened to lose 2 in a row to the Panthers and the Saints. And then they won 8 more games in a row to get them to the NFC Championship game, which they lost to the Seattle Seahawks, which were a damn good football team. I mean, it's easy to lose to the Seahawks and still be able to hang your hat on saying, hey, we had a good season. We didn't win the big one, but we're still building ourselves up to get us to the point we're going to get. I think, honestly, in San Francisco, what it's going to take to build that team together is winning. I mean, honestly, we're a damn good football team, and everybody is going to be gunning for us. We got the Chiefs next week. We got the Rams, which should be a soft game, but it is a divisional game. And then we got the Broncos and Peyton Manning before our bye week. Once we get through our bye, we have to play a few more teams. The Giants is a team that could sneak up on us. The Saints aren't looking like the team that they've been in the past. The Redskins, who knows what's going on with them. We got 2 games against the Seahawks. We got a Raiders game, which is always, there's more fights in the stands than there is on the field. And you got the Chargers and the Cardinals to finish up the year. So our year's not over. But I mean, the biggest bulk of our toughest games are out of the way. And plus, we were coming into this with so many, off-season movements. Of course, everybody knows about the defensive being it's not really in shambles, but they really held their own. They didn't give up any points. They only gave up 200 yards yesterday's game against the Eagles. One of the highest scoring teams in the league. Of course, everybody knows about Smith being out due to being suspended for 9 games. You got Bowman, our best linebacker that nobody knows about. He's out until the Seahawks game. We lost players in the offseason. Whitner went to Cleveland. We lost Rodgers. Rodgers went to Oakland. Another guy, Terrell Brown, one of our cornerbacks, he left to go to Oakland. This team is still really coming together. We took Jimmy Ward as our safety with our first pick in the draft, and much like last year with Eric Reed, he's really coming together in his own. The offense, to me, honestly, they're running a little bit different. Gore got the ball a lot yesterday, but in the game before, he didn't get the ball that much at all. They're running these 5 wide receiver sets. They're being able to stack the line with Crabtree, Bolden, Stevie Johnson, Bruce Ellington. This team is a good team. They're having to work out some kinks in order to where they know that they can go out and they can beat teams like Arizona, like Seattle, teams that in the past had just basically shut down our passing game. And, as long as we have Frank Gore and Carlos Hyde coming out of the backfield, Hyde has been coming on really strong. I think that what the 49ers really need is just winning, and that's going to get the mumbling down to a minimum. If anything that got this rumor started, I think, honestly, since it came from Deion Sanders, is Michael Crabtree. I think that's what this really points at. When Michael Crabtree was drafted into the league, Deion Sanders is the guy that sort of took Crabtree under his wing and tried to work out that San Francisco 49ers contract. In some ways he helped us, in some ways he hurt us, but if he's upset, he's upset. Honestly, we got to figure out what we're going to do with Stevie Johnson. Antoine Bolden looks like the beast, one of the best players on our team, but you got to wonder, how long is he really going to be here? He had all those years in Arizona underneath him. Brandon Lloyd is an aging dinosaur as well. And then you got Quentin Patton, who, I don't know, some games he shows up and he looks really good, and then some games I don't even see him at all. So, I mean, if Crabtree's upset and Crabtree wants to leave, I'm sure he can be replaced. But Crabtree, he hasn't really came into his own yet. He's just like what I said about Patton. Some days he has the best game of his career, and other games he's just not there. So, I mean, we got to wonder, is it worth the headache of Michael Crabtree to keep him on board, or do we let him go and try and find the next wide receiver to fill his spot? I think as long as the San Francisco 49ers are winning, a wide receiver is an easy spot to fill. There's always a lot of them out of there because nobody ever really wants to pay the wide receivers unless it's a top-notch high wide receiver. There's plenty of guys out there that would want to come to San Francisco because they want to win, and we have a winning reputation. And a lot of guys just are chasing that ring, and we're a team that's always on the board in order to get one. But honestly, if Harbaugh leaves the 49ers, I don't know who's going to coach this team. There's not many guys out there. I think one of the hottest college coaches right now is the guy down in Texas. He's not even winning with his team that he's got right now. I don't know why people are so high on him, but I don't know. We got lucky. We stole Harbaugh from Stanford when he was ready to leave there. Does he push his players really hard? Yes. But does he have success? Yes, look at his record. I mean, this guy has gotten us to NFC Championship game after NFC Championship game. We had our Super Bowl appearance. We don't have a ring, and that is what we're chasing, and that is the big one. But I'm sure that as long as we have Harbaugh and we have the group of players that we have in San Francisco, that ring is coming to us. I think we have a really awesome team. We see some kinks in Seattle. They're still a tough team, but I think honestly we can beat them and we can get there. We have a winning situation in San Francisco, and I think this is the year that we're finally going to win it all.